law is absolutely lawless. It has no meaning in it. You can break a law in that point, but you can do it in a more constructive way. That is all the difference between the two. So these two concepts you must keep in mind, justice and law. Both together constitute the totality of dharma. If just people are there in a society, law also is full of justice within it. That is a beautiful idea. How does law become equal to justice? When people are just, they get such law. If they are also unjust, then how can they get law which is also just? Because our people today have no respect for justice. We want to break every justice. We want to aggravate the social tension. We want to achieve our own personal success and glory. Therefore, there is no justice in society. There will be no justice in government also. After all, it's citizens that constitute the government. The more just the citizens, more just will be the government. And so only go by law, we know how to break it. The strong know how to break it. That's why today in law courts, unless you have plenty of money, who is going to fight in the court? You don't get justice. The poorest man will not get any justice. We are realizing it today. So the Supreme Court has tried to establish helping people to stand for law. We shall arrange lawyers to defend you because they have no money. We shall help you. This kind of assistance to clients we are trying to give. Why? To bring justice into law. The operation of law has been separated from the operation of justice. That is very bad for society. Injustices accumulating can destroy the social fabric. Nobody should allow that to happen. If you are sensitive, you will be the first to say, I will not break the law. I will see that everybody gets his or her due. This is the expression of Brahman, says this particular verse, 1, 4 and 14. 1, 4, 14. That is a famous statement, dharmam. So I say, file a suit against the king and win. Why? Dharma is there. The king says, I have done something wrong. So judgment goes in favor of the subject. This power of controlling the Raja, controlling the state, is dharma. That's why it's supreme. It is Brahman's manifestation in society. So respect it, worship it, don't break it. That's the language. Just like you worship God, worship also dharma. That is what makes for happiness and welfare of people, for everyone. I may break it today and win, but tomorrow somebody will do that to me. I will also lose it. So, as Kant said about ethics, German philosopher, he says, do nothing in society under the condition that if whatever you do is followed by others also, and society suffers thereby, don't do such a thing. And if others follow you and improve society, do it. This kind of language Kant has used on the subject of ethics. If I speak the truth, others also speak the truth. It improves society. I speak a lie. All others follow me. The whole society will go down. So whatever you do, ask the question, if others do this, will it improve society? Then only adopt it. That's the criterion of what is just and what is truly ethical and moral. So, Sayavayasva dharmam satyam vaitat. This dharma therefore is satyam. It is the truth. Law cannot be truth. You can change a law. Under the British we had some law. Under Free India there is other law. Even now law is changing in India. When the power was in 5% of people above, there was one law. Power is going down to lower levels, law also is changing. Law is constantly changing according to the pressure of public opinion. That you can see in a feudal society, there is one law. Democratic society, quite a different law. Law will change. It will be conditioned by the type of people that come on the scene. And so, law must change. That's why in a constitution, provision for amendment. Conditions change, you must make amendment. As a constitution where there is no provision for amendment will be a dead constitution. It will destroy the life of the people. You must change. Conditions are changing in response to human situations. That kind of constitution and law is only like the bark of a tree. It protects the tree, but the tree is expanding. Bark also must expand, otherwise it will choke the tree. Rules and regulations will choke a society if they do not change according to new aspirations coming in the minds of people. So in the Upanishads, this idea was emphasized that dharma is a divine manifestation within society. Respect it. And throughout Indian literature, this became the theme all these hundreds of years. Ramayana, Mahabharata, various other books, all deal with dharma. But they have made mistakes because they were talking about a feudal society. That's why we don't find those things inspiring to us today. We are changing them. Dharma, expression changes, principle remains. We are changing, therefore, our concept of dharma today. Formerly, upper classes had all the rights, lower classes had no rights, still we call it dharma. Today, no, that is not dharma. We have to understand dharma in the sense in which every human being must be given his or her due status and due dignity. That's the supreme concept of dharma according to the Upanishads. Today in India, our constitution breathes the spirit of the Upanishads, not the spirit of later books of Indian literature. The Upanishad spirit of human dignity, equality, unity, freedom, you will find in today's constitution. Even that is not maximum. We have to still further go. But everywhere, Upanishads will support us every time. Go ahead, that more and more people realize their own true nature, that they become free. That is the purpose, to bring humanity to the feet of the divine hidden within them. That is the purpose of Vedanta. These changes are needed to achieve that great purpose. So he mentioned it here. Whatever is dharmam is also satyam. The word dharmam, word ritam, the word satyam, they are all used very, very often in the same meaning. Ritam cha, satyam cha, dharmam cha, all this will say orderliness. What kind of orderliness? By which everybody is able to fulfill oneself. That is the perfect orderliness. No society is perfect. There are imperfections, but minimize them as much as you can. That is the struggle for dharma, equality, freedom, human dignity. Our constitution promises all this to everybody in India, and all the struggle today is in that direction. That struggle means opposition, burning of buses, all this also is part of that. That will also go on, but struggle will continue. Vedanta will be behind every such struggle to make every human being realize one's own dignity, freedom, and equality with all. This is the language of the Upanishad. It is Vivekananda literature that brings you this message in the most modern language, modern idiom, highly inspiring type of literature. From this point of view only, you can appreciate his wonderful, complete works. Tasmat satyam vadantamahu dharmam vadati. Therefore, because dharmam is satyam, somebody speaks satyam. Oh, he is doing dharma. That is dharma. That is dharma. We ourselves say in society, dharmam vadantam, satyam vadati. Both ways. If you speak dharma, you are speaking truth. If you speak truth, you are following dharma. In this way, dharmam va vadantam satyam vadati iti. Edat ubhayam bhavati. These two become one in this particular condition. So the whole nation is now striving to bring back that dharma, that justice into society. I am very happy to find all over India today a tremendous dissatisfaction with the current affairs, current state of things in our country. I had two letters, one from the Defense Department, one of their various organizations, the other from Administrative Department from Delhi, both asking this one question: what is wrong with us? Have we gone wrong? Have we forgotten the core values of Indian culture? How to bring it back? This is a question. I have sent 2-page answer to both this. Probably many more will come. That's beautiful. Health of society will come when you know you are not healthy. I have to strive to be healthy. To be known that we are sick is the way to become healthy once again. That's what is happening in India today. These great values will immediately inspire our people. A little crust is there of some false philosophy. That remove, the old understanding will come. Yes, we do want justice. We do want dharma. We don't want to live a kind of wretched life of destroying other people's happiness and welfare. That attitude will come when this questioning goes on increasing all over. Then we turn to these sources of wisdom, what I call Indian wisdom. You find in this wonderful literature and also some other books that came later. And today, Vivekananda gives you that wonderful Indian wisdom in a very practical form. So the more we study this, the more we become capable of taking India out of the mess into which our people have put it during the last 40, 50 years. This is the importance of studying the Upanishads. Vivekananda said, the future India will be the product of the practical applications of Vedanta vision, Vedanta philosophy. How to practically apply it for human situations. This will be all over the world, not only here. The United Nations need a philosophy. You will find it in this wonderful philosophy. The Advaitic vision, vision of non-duality, non-separateness, oneness. That's what United Nations are striving for. So this sentence is therefore very important, and we studied last Sunday verse 10, where we saw this Brahman is our true nature. We have to realize it. Realize it as our own self, not something out there, not out in the sun. Sometimes we worship the sun, we worship the moon, we worship so many things. Quite all right. For normal purposes it is all right. They are all objects. What's the use of worshipping them? That question will come later on. If you want to worship, worship the one from which all this has come. That is the only fit object of the worship. That is your own infinite self. You can experience it. Anything outside you cannot experience. Can you experience this star? Only its light and heat come to us a little. We can't touch it, we can't see it, we can't handle it at all. Far away. Anything outside is not for experience, except to see with the eye. Some glimmer is there. But what is within you can experience. Your own self. God as the self of the individual becomes a subject of experience. Otherwise only belief. There is a God who created the world. I believe in it. Yes, you can do so. But you'll be very timid, without any strength in it. A mere belief. But here, I can realize the truth. In the Upanishads alone you get, for the first time, the idea of realization of God. Experience of the divine. How? Because that infinite is at the back of my own self, pulsing there. By searching it here, I can discover it there, ever present here, present in all beings. That will come in the next chapter, next book of the Brihadaranyaka Upanishad. We are introducing the subject from here to there. So, in the shloka, the Upanishad said that this is the ideal. You want freedom? Try to realize your own infinite dimension. You are not this petty little individual you think yourself to be. There is something better about you, some profound dimension within you. You are that. You are that infinite Atman. That language was used, and if you do so, you become free. Nobody can control you. No gods can control you. Why should I be a slave of the gods? I have given up slavery to my feudal masters. Why should I keep slavery here? Be free, be free. If there is a God, He is here in you. That is your true nature. That is how Vedanta proclaims the dignity of the humanity in the presence of the divine within, the infinite Atman. That is our true nature. Humanism, taught by Vivekananda, has this at the core of it, the infinite Atman. In every one it is the same Atman, out of which will come the humanistic impulse, which has never been ever expounded elsewhere. Even in scientific humanism of the West, extremely limited in scope, but this is unlimited in scope. So, he said here, this universe, when you study it in a very comprehensive way, what does it consist of? From Brahman, the universe has come. That's a language. What does this universe consist? Three things. The next sloka tells us here. It consists of three things. One, Nama. Second, Rupa. Second, Karma. Nama, Rupa, Karma. Name, form and action. The whole universe is nothing but name, form and action. Action means process in a technical language used by many Western philosophers called process. Wherever there is process, there is action. Where there is no process, there is no action. So, Nama, Rupa, name, form, then process, action. The whole universe is a play of these three energies, Nama, Rupa, as well as Karma. These are three. The entire manifested universe is this, and behind all of them is the Brahman, beyond name, beyond form, beyond action. absolutely one and uniform, of the nature of pure consciousness. Ocean, water lies there, it becomes a wave. Already you can see there a name and a form and a process going on. And it merges in the ocean again. Name, form, process. Name, form, process. The whole universe is a play of nama, rupa, karma. Name, form and action. What a tremendous generalization it is in human thought. This happened 4,000 years ago. This generalization of the whole of objective experience. The whole world is nothing but a play of these three forces. Nama, rupa and karma or action or process. So having said this, the Upanishad said like that. Tat Shaya Rupam, he said, this wonderful dharma comes upon us, and Vacham, Pranam, all these various things which you see within the body, sense organs are there. So also the manas is there, body is there. These are all functioning on those three levels, Nama, Rupa, as well as Karma. Even behind the sensory system, there is one unit energy, we call it prana, bioenergy in today's language. All this energy is essentially bioenergy. In physics, you deal with mere physical energy. In a living organism, that same energy becomes bioenergy. We call it prana. Behind the sense organ is prana. If prana withdraws, sense organs have no function at all. They die. In one of the verses, a beautiful story is told. That's very interesting. All the sense organs in man one day got into a dispute. Among us, who is more important? Who is superior? Without which this human being cannot function. So one by one, the five sense organs, each one claimed, I am superior, I am superior. So, all right, you prove that you are superior. The eye said, I am superior. So he said, I will cease functioning. I will be made blind. But man continues his life. Nothing happened to him. The eye went away, that's all. Without eye also he can manage his life. Then he returned back to the eye again. I am not superior. Then the ear did the same thing. All the five sense organs did the same thing on a strike against the body. I shall make you useless by my departure. But I did not become useless, slightly less, but I could add much more. We have seen, if one sense organ is not there, the other sense organs become more sensitive, more powerful. Without eye, the touch becomes very powerful. That you can see in many people, it is happening there. So what happened? After all the five sense organs tried to prove their own superiority and failed, then they understood, we are not superior. The sixth one is prana, bioenergy. Bioenergy said, I am superior then to all of you. Prove it. He said, I am going out. As soon as he started going out, all of them cried, please stay. Without you, we can't live at all. You remain there, you remain there. You are primary, you are primary. We are all secondary. This is the language there. Quarrel between the five senses and prana. That story comes 2-3 times in the Upanishad. What an amount of thinking is behind the statement that the eye is not a real organ of vision. There is a sensory energy behind the eye. So also ear. So prana is the central principle. Pranasyedam jagat sarvam. In one of the Upanishads he said, O prana, you are everything in this world. Everything is a play of energy. In bio systems, bioenergy is a play that finds in all the various organic movements. In physical energy, in the external world. So, this kind of unification of all energy, first as physical energy, second as bioenergy, third as psychic energy. This kind of unification came in the Upanishads earlier. The external universe, looking so diverse, in that diversity we discovered unity at various levels. Physical energy, chemical energy, then you go bioenergy, psychic energy. All this one. We discovered one psychic energy behind all of our psyche. We call it Hiranyagarbha, the cosmic mind. Cosmic, psychic energy. These are all play of that one energy. So also bioenergy. So also this physical energy of the world. So this is one wonderful generalization. But even then, all this is manifested universe. All this is constantly changing, reforming, name, form, reforming. Take a wave. It's not the same. It becomes a wave, goes back into the water, because another wave, another name, another form, another action, it goes on. These are all different things of the same truth. What is that truth? We wanted to ask the question. What is this of which this world is a manifestation? That primary question came. That would be the theme of the next book of the Brihadaranyaka Upanishad. What is the truth behind all these diversities? And I am glad to find physical science today, scientists asking this one question. What is the unity behind this diversity? Even physical unity we have not achieved yet. In various departments we have found some unity. Total unity, even in the physical world, we have not yet come to. But even then, search is going on. What is the search for that infinite one? Vedanta says, all your search will be meaningless if you isolate and not take into account one profound datum, namely consciousness, your own self, the wonderful self that you are. I am the self, I am the self. I am not the not self. I see the not self. I handle it. I know it. I control it. But who am I don't know. So let us turn our searchlight in that direction. That is the stage in which physical science has come just at this time. Ramakrishna tells a beautiful parable on this subject. The policemen in the villages go on beat at night with a lantern in the hand. 3 parts of the lantern, sides will be black. Only one side there is light. If there is any disturbance, he will throw the light on it. People are going there, puts a light. So those people see the light, they can see each other, but they don't know the source from which the light comes. Where from is the light coming? Then they have to ask the one who is throwing that light, please throw the light on yourself so that we can know who you are. Then even he throws the light on himself, then he, oh, you are the policeman. All right, they understand him. So here is the time. The light thrown on the object through the eye, through the ear, we are doing. Beautiful it is. But what is the one that throws the light? Where from is the source of that light? That light of pure consciousness. You have to throw the light back on yourself and discover, yes, I am that. I am that. That knowledge will come. Very often, the whole of science today, they have just abstracted this one reality, the self, dealing with the not self all the time. They observe the universe. They have done wonderful work in that direction. But today, the attention is turning. What is that? Observing the whole universe. What is that consciousness which makes possible the study of the objective world? Because we have eliminated the self from our calculation till now. From Descartes onwards, French philosopher Descartes. From that onwards, simply say, keep the eye away. See only the object, the world, and study. How do I find? No. We have to bring that subject, very important datum, the consciousness, the one who knows the world. You must know what is his dimension. On that subject, Shankaracharya has given a beautiful story in the previous verses of this first book. There, in the course of commentary, he said, say, Dashamastvamasi story like. This is that story. Dashamastvamasi, you are the tent, you are the tent. That is the story. The story is like this. 10 people, what you call villagers, went from the town after finishing business back to the village. On the way, they had to cross a swollen river. They swam and went to the other side. Then they cursorily counted themselves. They found only 9 people. And they started weeping. One has lost. One has been washed away. We are only 9. We are only 9. Went on crying. A person passing that side, why are you crying? He asked them. We were 10. One is washed away. We are 9. He cursorily looked around and found, actually there were 10. But they wouldn't understand it. We have lost one. We have lost one. No, count now. One by one you count. I am here. So each one counted. Then naturally the last one counted 10. You are 10. Then what happened to you? Everybody omitted counting oneself. Counted everybody else. Then this new man said, you are that 10th, that missing 10th, you are. Missing 10th, you are. Missing 10th, you are. To everybody he said, you are that missing 10th. There is a story of the missing 10 given in the Upanishad. Today's science is exactly in that condition. That missing 10th, he is the scientist. He doesn't know anything about himself. He knows all about the world around. Therefore, we are in trouble. And so this is a story coming in this great book. Thou art the missing tenth. Thou art the missing tenth. That's why a man like Schrödinger, the nuclear scientist, said the greatest truth which we must realize today is what the Chandogya Upanishad said, Tattvamasi, Tattvamasi. You are that. You are that. You are that missing tenth. You have calculated everything in the world, isolated this profound truth, the one behind the many. You have not studied at all. That is the situation in the world of scientific knowledge today. You can imagine, therefore, what wonderful discoveries are these Upanishads. Ages ago, summoning humanity. Don't forget the most primary datum, consciousness. Everything else is only condensation of consciousness. Don't forget this primary datum. If you do so, you will be in trouble. You will never get fulfillment in life. This is a challenge thrown by the Upanishads to all humanity, ancient and modern. Some years ago, Prime Minister Indira Gandhi addressed an international conference on ecology in Norway or Sweden. In that lecture, she quoted a verse from the Shvetashvatara Upanishad, a wonderful verse. It says, Yada charmavad akasham veshtaishyanti manavaha tada devam avijnaya dukkhasyanto bhavishyati. Man may master the whole world, including space around us, and roll it up like a piece of leather put under his armpit. Perfect control of space. Today we are in that condition. Space age, we call it. Yada charmavad akasham. Akasham means space. Roll it like a charma means a piece of leather. Roll it like a leather and put it here. That means master of space age. Even though you achieve this, you will never become peaceful until you realize the Atman, the luminous reality within yourself. This is a challenge given in that verse. Yada charmavad akasham veshtayishyanti, rolls up. Manavaha, humanity, tada devam avijnaya, without realizing this luminous point in yourself, pure consciousness. Dukkhasyanto na bhavishyati, end of sorrow will never come. More and more sorrows will come. That is the wonderful language which she quoted in that conference there. That is how Upanishad stands before humanity today. The most highly developed countries also look to the Upanishads. Yes, you have to learn something here. That's what Tower Physics Kapra wrote. If consciousness becomes a subject of study, go to India. Go to the great sages of that country. They understood all about this subject. That's the language today in physical science. We shall continue a little more of this chapter. Just a small item is there for next Sunday. Then enter into the second chapter where this subject comes in. This turning of attention, the external to the internal, from the object to the subject, the now observed universe to the observer. That turning of searchlight onto the face of the policeman by himself, so that you can know, oh, he is the policeman whose light is falling on us. We are able to see each other and conduct our affairs also. That is the great subject that will come from the second book onwards. We shall enter into it next Sunday. Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vishishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om Tat Sat. Last Sunday we were studying that portion of the Brihadaranyaka Upanishad dealing with the nature of this visible universe. In fact, the whole first book of the Upanishad deals with this subject. And as I said in the introductory lecture, all knowledge begins with knowledge of the external world. A baby begins its knowledge with the external world. What is this world that surrounds me? So in the Upanishad, same thing is found in this first book. This world around. What is it? Something profound behind it, of the nature of pure infinite consciousness, was hinted in a passage in this first book. But the main study is the world of manifestation, the observable universe, leading to the question, who is the observer? That's the important question that comes in the search for knowledge. It has come in India ages ago. It is coming to modern science today. And the second chapter begins with this great inquiry. What is behind this observable universe? Who is the observer? This world of experience. Who is it that experiences it? Who is the experiencer? These are the beautiful terms, highly philosophical and scientific, dealing with this subject. Before entering into the second book, one or two more ideas of the first chapter we have to study. First book we have to study. We had told earlier that this world consists of name, form and action. A wonderful generalization of the whole universe. Name, form and action or process. A little earlier, the Upanishad had said, this human body consists of the sense organs, of the pranas, bioenergies, and the mind. These are the three things that are there within this human body. That subject was taken up, and one point was stressed there, which I wish to convey to you as given by Shankaracharya in his commentary. Last week, I read out from Wilder Penfield's book, the famous neurologist, his book, about the need to posit the mind behind the brain and the sensory system. The brain and sensory system alone cannot explain all experience. Something more subtle is behind the brain, and he said, therefore, mind cannot be excluded from our study. That was the language used at that time. In this very book, the same idea comes. What is the place for mind? Is not body enough? Is not the sensory system enough? Is not the brain enough? Upanishad says no. Exact language you will find here, exactly like the language used by Wilder Penfield in his book, which I read out last time, saying, this mind, the organ of speech called vak, manas, vak, and prana, all these energies behind all our experiences. Vak is only symbolic of all the five organs of perception. Ear, nose, etc., all included in that word vak. So, is it necessary to have a mind? Isn't not enough we have prana and the sensory system? Why going for a mind? But mind is needed. First of all, this Upanishad defines what constitutes the mind. In a beautiful passage you will find here, it says, what is mind? Yes, it is through the mind that one hears and sees, desires, resolves, doubts, develop faith, want of faith, steadiness, unsteadiness, shame, intelligence, and fear. All these are but the mind. These are the phenomena, mental, as different from physical. The nervous system is physical. Brain also is physical. You can touch it, you can see it, you can handle it. But what is non-physical cannot be perceived or seen. As I quoted from famous Sherrington, neurologist, who said, the mind remains beyond sensory verification, and it will remain so forever. This is the language which is used. That mind, which perceives things, which experiences things, if pranas or bioenergies alone are there, if sense organs alone are there, are we able to explain all aspects of human experience? No, says the Upanishad. No, says today's advanced science. Earlier science said no, we can manage everything with only this physical body with its own physical constituents. In this commentary, Shankaracharya writes, therefore, about the mind. First two, there is no question, he says, about the sense organs and the prana. There is no question. Everybody accepts it, physical science and our philosophy and religion. Only about the third item, there is a doubt. See, long ago, 4,000 years ago, subject is discussed, which we are now discussing in our great science. It says here, the mind, the organ of speech, and the vital force or prana. These are three kinds of food. See the word used here, annam. These are food. Every object is called food in a technical language. What you eat is an object. The eater is the subject. So two words are used, food and the eater. Eaten and eater. The whole world is object. Therefore it is called food. You sit at a table, you eat the food. You are the eater, food is the eaten. So the whole universe is eaten. This object. Objective universe it is called. So technically it is called annam or food. Having said this, Father, after developing all these various energies within, this question came. There is a doubt regarding the existence and nature of the mind, says Shankaracharya, commentary on 153. Hence, the text says, there is a mind, apart from the external organs such as the ear. For it is a well-known fact that even when there is a connection between the external organ, the object, and the self, a man does not perceive that object. If the organ is a seer, then whenever it is connected with an object, it must be able to see. But sometimes we don't see. Though our eyes are open, we are not able to see. This question comes at this stage. It is well-known fact that when even there is a connection between the external organ, namely the eye, ear, etc., and the object, and the self, all the three are connected. A man does not perceive that object, which may be just in front. And when asked, have you seen this form? He says, my mind was elsewhere. This is the language. My mind was elsewhere. That's what we answer. Now, due to experience. Anyatramana anu abhuvam. My mind was elsewhere. I was absent-minded. I did not see it. Though it is there, touching on my eye, impressions, everything, but I didn't see it. That. Therefore, it is understood that that's something else, namely the internal organ called the mind. These are called external organ. Bahirindriya. Mind is called an internal organ, what called the antarindriya. So like that. Internal organ called mind, which joins itself to the objects of all the organs.